What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do and how much were you paid? I rented my chicken to a photographer for $50. I was paid to be a kind of server for a fancy outdoor dinner party. They wanted me to go around with a plate of drinks and food and offer it to people. When I get there, they tell me the person they hired to cook on the grill never showed, so they wanted me to make that my priority, but I told them I didn't know how to grill anything. I was 17. The woman told me to look helpless and some man would come do it. Every man thinks he's the grill master and wants to show off. So I did, and it worked. I basically got paid to stand next to this guy and thank him every so often, and get him drinks. I got paid over $100 for just a few hours. It was pretty awesome. That guy's probably still telling the story about how he saved the day. $175 to do some kind of user study at Netflix. I show up in the lobby, and then they go, "Actually, we got the data we needed from the studies earlier today. You're free to go." Still got paid. Had a WFH gig working sort of as a personal assistant for a rich guy on the opposite coast from me. I did all kinds of wacky crap for him. For example, one time I had to break up with my boss's girlfriend because he was too wimpy to do it himself. Really, weird crap like that was literally my job. One day, I bought him a new pickup truck. Meaning, I negotiated the deal and paid for the truck with his credit card. All in all, I'd say the process probably took about 2 weeks, for which I was paid my usual wage at 6 hours per day. No big deal. Somehow, his dad found out about the new truck, and he decided he wanted a new pickup truck too. He called me about a week after I bought the truck for my boss and said he'd pay me $2,000 to buy a truck for him. I called the same dealership back, spoke to the same salesman, told him what was up and basically said give me another truck, same price as before. The salesman was only too happy to comply. It took 10 minutes to make the phone call and then a day or two to get the title and other paperwork sorted out. So, depending on how you look at it, I made $2,000 for just 10 minutes worth of work. Somehow, my boss's rich friend found out about all this. He decided he wanted a new SUV. "Oh yeah, throw it away. You have to buy it for me." I told him the last time I bought someone a vehicle, I got paid $2,000. The friend was basically like, "F it, I'll pay you $3,000, just get it for me," and then he emailed me his wish list. That deal took a little longer, maybe 2 weeks. I made $5,000 extra in just 2 months buying vehicles for lazy, or dumb, rich people. Edit. Holy crap, I was trying to vent a little bit here. But this comment really blew up. Look below for a follow-up reply from me because some of you were curious about this job. THX for the award. I used to work for a PR agency. Every month one of our clients wanted a handful of photos resized for their website, nothing fancy, just setting the width to 500px in Windows Photo Manager. It was maybe 10 minutes of work every month, but the contract said the minimum amount of time we would charge them for was 1 day, and this was for the full team too, not just me. It must have cost them several £100 every month. I showed the client how to do it several times, and explained that they could save a lot of money doing it themselves. They didn't seem to mind. In the end, I made sure I got it in writing that I'd informed them of their options and let them get on with it. Hey buddy, do you happen to know the contact information for this fine establishment? I was flown to Paris to do a compliance audit. The systems weren't set up for the audit, couldn't get access, so spent the week being taken to restaurants and shopping. On one of the days and at the last minute, the company decided to send me into London for a meeting, literally just to meet people. I missed the Eurostar because I forgot my passport, totally blanked that I was entering another country. They had to rebook the Eurostar. Nothing was achieved out of this trip. No audit was completed. Nothing came of the meeting. The cost to the company $25,000 for me to do nothing for a week. Corporate money is ridiculous money. My wife's company had a fiscally great year because the mucky mucks weren't gallivanting all over the globe on business travel. Got paid $300 to shovel my neighbor's front steps and driveway while she was away on vacation all winter. It did not even flurry once. Highway robbery, but good for you. I was paid $300 to move my car for a movie that was filming by my apartment. This is something I used to do. You'd be surprised the contracts I drew up and the money for it. Insanity. Please move your car $250. Take down your political sign $100. Sorry, we're filming right next door / don't bother us / sorry to bother you / lock you in $500 crafty. Etc. etc. Films do this frequently. We write it into our budgets actually, and it's easily 1,000 to 5,000 per set / location, depending where and what we're doing. Edit. I wake up to my highest comment being about frilly payments in the film industry. Story of my life, smiley face. I'll try to answer y'all. My friend asked me to clean out his guinea pig cage because he couldn't be bothered that day. In payment, he gave me his copy of Zoo Tycoon 2 for PC. Edit. Thank you very much for the awards. Solid trade. I got asked to do 2 hours of barrier watch, guarding a barrier ribbon while a crew did X-rays inside a power plant. This was asked last minute after a 12-hour shift, so the bonuses of staying happening to be a Sunday, etc. I was being paid $110 to stand and play on my phone and make sure nobody tried to pass all the do not enter danger signs during a time of day with minimal personnel. 25 years ago, and in Indiana, the law was that in order to operate nail salon, someone there must hold a full cosmetology license, not just a nail technician license. A nail salon opened next to the hair salon I worked at, and they all held nail technician licenses, and the one who held a cosmetology license would be delayed in Korea for a week for whatever reason. At 18 years old, I was paid $25 an hour to merely to sit in the nail salon as the holder of the license. I answered no phones, tended to no clients, did nothing but paint my own nails repeatedly and watch TV for an entire week. Was a sweet gig. Okay, this wasn't a job or anything. But I got $10 to eat half a watermelon. Damn, $10 and free watermelon, sign me up. Got paid USD 40K to not show up at work. It was the financial crisis and there was a hiring freeze right before I was due to start work. The company I was to work for couldn't honor the employment contract we signed, but it was all very sudden and my would-be bosses felt bad enough about the situation that they offered me half a year's salary as a gesture of goodwill. That's how you know that would have been a great company to work for. I was paid $50 to assemble some brand new gym equipment for a friend because her husband had been dragging his feet for months. I opened up the box, pulled it out, and made the easiest $50 of my life because it was pre-assembled. I just took 10 seconds to unfold it and was done. She was furious with her husband, and still paid me despite him. Edit. Dang, this blew up. Alright, time to answer the question on everyone's mind. Why didn't she do it herself? She was in her 50s and had a bad back. It was one of those inverted back stretcher things to help relieve pain. The husband was 100% the bad guy in this case. My neighbor, wife, uses me to goad her husband into doing things around the house. She asks me to come over to do something and then tells her husband when I will be there, and he always starts the project before my start date. Never fails. He didn't want another man mowing his lawn. It's a joke now. Hang a TV. Then make sure that TV worked the following day and then take the TV down the day after. Made $1,000. Do they have you deliver it somewhere afterwards? Because if so, that TV is stuffed full of drugs, bro. When I was like 20, got hired to be an assistant for some event in Hollywood. I carried 1 box of liquor into the place, and they gave me a walkie-talkie and said they'd let me know when they needed me for anything else. Waited a while with no calls and found that next door they were holding a yoga class for AA members. Poked my head in the door, and they invited me to join them, so I did. After the yoga, I went to return the walkie-talkie and the guy says, we didn't use you at all, did we? Got $60. I got hired for a Taylor Swift concert to be a brand ambassador for CoverGirl. She was their spokesperson, so I stood around for a few hours putting makeup and drawing the number 13 on 8-year-olds and got to hear her concert. I got to keep all the leftover makeup too. Got paid $150. I tutored for the 21-year-old daughter of a wealthy family and charged around $65 an hour. I warned in advance that I still charged with cancellations if there was less than 24 hours notice, but she would regularly arrange 6-hour sessions or longer, then cancel on the day. I told them and let them off the charge the first few times, but nothing changed, so I thought, F it, person shrugging. For 6 months or so, I was probably making an extra $400 on average per week just for cancellations. I was recently paid $25 per hour to babysit a 17-year-old. Not tutor or anything. I just had to make sure she was going to her virtual class when her parents weren't there. I didn't last long because of how bored I was. Oh, and I'm only 20. That's like getting a horse to watch your dog. Earned €700 monthly for an internship which consisted of me sitting around all day, waiting for work which wouldn't come because the company effed up the internship offer and accidentally hired someone they didn't need at all. So basically I was being paid to take the train in the morning and then back in the evening. I'm a hobbyist woodturner. It's more of a passion. Once as a joke, early into my hobby, I made a wooden butt plug and posted on my Instagram, again, as a joke. I immediately had an acquaintance message me asking if I could make her one that was obviously safe for the human body and various other business that such an item would interact with. So I did. Totally safe for the human body. She paid me well for it. Later, her followers were messaging me asking I could make them some. And now, that's something I do often. Edit. Okay, so this has entirely blown up overnight. Very encouraging to start an Etsy store. So I guess I'll be in the works for that tonight after work. Thank you all so much the love and support. If you have a tips on an Etsy store, please let me know. I'm kind of jumping into this really blind. Also, here's a picture of a plug I made when I first started out. http://anchor.com/a/8rikiki. Web link. I know this may sound weird coming from an internet stranger, but I'm oddly proud of your ingenuity laughing out loud. I'm a therapist and I often respond to the sites of things like bank robberies or accidents. When you see on the news that crisis counselors are on site, that's me. Sometimes it can be intense psychological first aid, but it's often sitting around waiting for someone who wants to come talk. Sometimes I'm just there so the PR people can say that services are available. This is especially true with industrial accidents and layoffs. I get paid significantly more for these types of assignments, sometimes as much as $70/hour, and the clock starts when I leave my home to travel to the site. I've had multiple days spent riding my motorcycle to the site, reading a book for 8 hours and riding home and never speaking to a single person. $500 in my pocket for the day. I was told to retrieve a school chicken sandwich from the cafeteria. I was paid $10 for my vigorous labor. Edit. This is the first time I've gotten more than like 10 upvotes laughing out loud. I'm glad people like my chicken sandwich story enough to give me gifts. Thank you, kind strangers. Rich family paid me $500, minimum, a night to babysit their 8-year-old son. I was about 18, certified for child CPR, first aid, and grew up watching my nephews from a young age. I never set a price, just told them to pay me what they thought was fair. The kid was very polite and basically a young adult. I'm not sure if he took etiquette classes or something, but his face lit up when we played pretend ninjas for the first time. He slayed 3 of them in one slash haha. I was also there for his first skinned knee, and he took it like a champ. Just kept saying "oh man," called fractured 7, it hurts a lot. But wound up extremely proud of it. One night they called abruptly to have me come sit, paid me in advance, then left $300 for pizza or whatever, you can keep the change, too. Then took off for 3 hours. They wanted him in bed an hour after they left, but I gave him 2.5 to play DK Country. Overall, dumb, but such good money. 10/10 would babysit again, haha. Male babysitters have it rough, though. It got a lot of weird looks. Edit. Wow, did this blow up? I wasn't expecting this. I should add it's dumb on account of how easy it was, not to mention fun. Thank you for the awards, you're too kind. I am currently being paid to be an engineer for $55K and I have no effing idea what I'm doing. I signed up for a medical study. They did a physical and had me do an at-home sleep study to check eligibility. They paid me $150 for doing this part. They called after and asked me if I knew I had sleep apnea. I had no clue. I wasn't eligible for the rest of the study because of it. So I got paid $150 to get diagnosed with sleep apnea. Obligatory edit, thanks for the awards, kind strangers. I'm cracking up that my highest rated comment is this random event in my life. I got paid around $1K to do a research study where I had to stay awake and in the same position for 48 hours. I was given tests that was basically testing my cognitive function and fed the same food at regular intervals. It wasn't too bad, but I had to pee in one of those things that name is escaping me. So that was awkward. Edit was a bedpan. Edit 2, for those wondering how to participate, I had found this one on a flyer posted as a research institute I was currently doing research at. If you're in US, check clinicaltrials.gov. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.